The year is 2019. We have the release of the Valve Index, one of the most highly anticipated VR headsets to come out on the market. With this here, it had an amazing assortment of specs, but not to mention some of the best controllers in VR. And a lot of people today still use these controllers. Not long after that, we see the release of Half-life Alyx, which took full advantage of the Knuckles controllers, individual finger tracking, interact in VR like never before. Hey guys, I'm RXVR here, and today I'm doing a video in relation to playing Half-life Alyx in 2024. How does this game shape up compared to the competitors that have released recently? Let's jump in and find out. First thing I'd like to touch on is the story. Now, with Half-life Alyx at least had something in regards to a story, unlike a lot of VR titles that have been released in the past 4 years. We have a lot of shovelware, I guess I can say. Now, that may sound incredibly negative, but it is incredibly true as well. An example is so many titles releasing with, the objective of having arenas, killing a bunch of enemies, rinsing and repeating, and that is pretty much it. There's no real goal or objective in mind. With Half-life Alyx, at least there's a story. So if you're a Half-Life fan or a person that likes stories in general, this has that on the table. So this is one thing I like to see the VR, industry at least progress with. Delivering some sort of narrative, a story, or something that at least drives the player to go from one section to another. It seems to be the same repetitive nonsense that has released in the past 4 years. Now, with me, I like to have the odd occasional game where I'm just, killing a bunch of things, setting up arenas, and that is pretty much it. But I don't like that to be the primary thing that I do within VR. I like to have something where I progress through areas and have objectives and have a story and a narrative, and that's pretty much what Alyx has. With a lot of VR titles, it does not even compare to it, even the most recent releases. So anyway, in regards to the story aspects of Half-life Alyx, it definitely is in the category of a premium experience once it comes down to its competitors. So 5 years before the events of Half-Life 2, the game is set in City 17, and pretty much what it is you fighting through a bunch of combined forces to create a ragtag group of resistance fighters. And that is pretty much the story in a nutshell. But nevertheless, this is one aspect that I absolutely love about the game, unlike, say, a lot of VR titles have released. Anyway, so this is one of the reasons why Half-Life Alyx is better than a lot of titles in 2024. So let's get into the physics aspects. Let's get into it. So once it comes down to the physics simulations, I've got to say with absolute certainty, Half-Life Alyx definitely delivers. With this here, it keeps me coming back again and again. For example, how we can interact with objects and how the physics can definitely simulate how they're meant to be in real life. For example, here with the plates and how they fall to the ground and how the liquid in that bottle, reacts depending on how I'm holding it. It is something this game has that a lot of games do not have in 2024, and I've got to say with absolute certainty, it keeps me coming back again and again. So the physics in this game are definitely amazing, and overall, they're better than a lot of titles in 2024. So yeah, once it boils down to it, the physics are amazing. So next, I want to check out the combat. Let's get into it. So once it boils down to the combat aspects of Half-Life Alyx, it's pretty straightforward, but nevertheless it's still incredibly satisfying. But firstly, I'd like to get into a couple of things. Firstly, the lack of melee combat. Now, that's one thing that is a pet peeve of mine, even though there is an option to go into the workshop and obtain a modification, but nevertheless, it's still not a thing. And also, missing iconic weapons from Half-Life, so the crowbar, for example. We don't have the option of that. The Magnum, things of that nature do not exist, but nevertheless, what we do have are a bunch of weapons in the arsenal of Alyx that definitely scream incredibly enjoyable and satisfying to use. Racking slides and everything else are absolutely amazing, and I've got to say with absolute certainty, this is one of the reasons why I do keep coming back. The only complaint that I've really got is the lack of melee combat. So a lot of VR titles, for example, like Boneworks, you can pick up a brick and, smack your enemies with it. You can pick up numerous objects as well and use them as melee weapons. But not in Alyx. It's pretty much like playing Arizona Sunshine. Once it boils down to this, you do not have the option to really do anything to your opponents. But nevertheless, once it boils down to it, the guns are incredibly satisfying to use. They're primarily single-handed weapons. You can use two hands on them, but that's what they're primarily designed around, because Valve tried to cater towards newbie VR users, and it works incredibly well, even though I'm kind of a hardcore VR user. But yeah, anyway, let's get into the workshop content and let's check out the amount of content that is on offer here. So let's get into it. Once it boils down to the Steam Workshop side of things, this game is definitely worth picking up for this one reason and one reason alone. With the community, especially surrounding certain games with modifications on the PC, this game falls in the category of absolutely excellent thanks to the community. It's been expanded upon since the release, and I've got to say with absolute certainty, a lot of these modifications are definitely impressive. So we have Campaign-like, which is pretty much an expansion to the single-player experience, which I've played through a lot of them. And for me personally, some of them are better in certain aspects than what Valve has delivered in this category. But yeah, as you can see right here, there's so many things. So there's asset packs, there's models, there's also weapons as well. So if you want to get into some melee combat, you have the option of doing that as well. You can have, say, skins for, say, the pistol, for example. So having the 5.7 from CSGO in Half-life Alyx feels absolutely fantastic. So go through, check out the content on the Steam Workshop. In 2024, this is pretty much what is on offer. So regardless of if you're into, say, the single player experience or not, this is definitely a reason to still look at Half-life Alyx. So anyway, guys, let's jump in and wrap up this video. So once it does boil down to it, Half-life Alyx in 2024 is still absolutely amazing. A great single-player experience. A lot of, sections where it's like, oh my god, that is absolutely insane. Visually, the game looks absolutely excellent as well. What Valve has delivered here has been nothing short but amazing. So I cannot wait to see if they do decide to release another, Half-Life game in VR, what they're actually going to create. Because, I mean, this game here in general looks absolutely excellent even 4 years down the road. So, yeah, not a lot of VR titles can compare to Alyx in regards to that. The combat, even though it is sort of basic, it is how satisfying the guns are to use. So, for example, with me, I am a VR user that loves to shoot things. That's a pretty basic way of putting it. But nevertheless, just the weaponry, the way it feels and everything else, it's definitely amazing. And with the user-created content with this game, it's just absolutely insane with what the users have done. So normally with PC users, creating mods is sort of, the norm. But they've definitely delivered on all fronts, especially with the campaign-like modifications. So, expanding upon the campaign and what it can deliver, it's absolutely excellent. So would I recommend this game in 2024? Absolutely. If you haven't played this game and you see it on sale or even at full price, pick it up. Get it right now if you can. If you have a VR headset, or even if you don't, and you plan on getting a VR headset in the future, pick it up now. It's definitely worth your time. It's definitely worth your money. It's an investment, but nevertheless, I've played this game for over 100 hours. I'm still not sick of it. I'm going to keep coming back again and again. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much it from me. So with Half-Life Alyx, pick it up, get it today. And yeah. So anyway, guys, I'm RxVR. Thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I shall catch you in the next video. Peace out.